If you like this video, make sure to visit our Vimeo page and follow us to get the latest update.
Yeah, it seems like it does not have much of access for me. But yeah, if you have the language field specified, right, you should be able to see the data what in terms of this text. Clear or any questions?
So for when you selected the language, there was a drop down. Why did you select the text particularly?
Okay, let me go back there. So what is said is, so you need to select a language column. Oh, sorry, text. Yeah, sorry, it should select language. Sorry. I think that's the problem. Okay. Let me try to rerun it and see if this works. No, yeah, I think I still don't have access to the text, but yeah, language is the one which you need to select because it's a language column. We need to tell the system what language it needs to pick so that it gets the relevant text in that particular language.
Okay.
Okay, clear?
Yeah. So I have a question. So when you created a package, you named it with Z. So is it mandatory to start it with Z or anything can work?
You can create anything, but as you know, right, we follow the process ABAP. So let me try to create one package. It takes anything. I can put
Really? Okay.
batch test. It's not like a mandatory. You can just give, because this is at the database level. It's not your ABAP layer where in which it restricts you from creating.
Doesn't have to start with Y or Z.
You can create anything.
Okay. But is it a good practice to start with anything or Z is a good practice?
Yeah, if you're working on ABAP from long time, right, you generally go with an intent of creating Z's, but yeah, you can use whatever.
Yeah, but usually what people do, like what is the best practice? Is there a best practice scenario?
Okay, so with respect to the naming conventions, we don't have any, but it all depends on your organization's rule set and the practice what they follow. Because in the organization, for a couple of clients, we use Z, whereas for a couple of clients, we use the project names directly at the HANA DB layer. So it all depends on use case of the customer.
Okay. And so let's say we don't know like what's in the table, how to look into the table just with SE11?
Okay, you can check with SE11. If not, what you can do is you can go here if you want, or else what you can do is you can do a search here. So let's say like how I did, right? You can either go to SE11 or you can let me try to open this. Sorry, my this one is a bit slow. Let me go back to SysBig. And if I go to tables, and I'll search for the table where we are trying, right? SNWD underscore, let's say the product table itself, right? SNWD underscore product. Just select this table, okay? And you can see what are the columns you have, what are the indexes you have. You can see everything like you see in the S11, okay? And here, if you click on, we can see data preview also here. Okay, we are in the SysBig, right? Yeah, SysBig, you can just see the structure, right? But if you want to see the data, again, we can do it from here. Let me show you. So here you can see what are the different columns you have, right? And what are the different indexes you have. Everything you can see from here. Okay.
Okay. Where can I see the data?
You should see the data. I'm just trying to refresh it. Let me. I should see it here at the bottom of the table so that I can select data preview. I'm not able to see it here. Okay, let me try to filter it first. SNWD score PD. Yeah, I'm not able to do a filter because once I see the table, right? So, okay, once I see the table, if I just right click and if I say show data preview, we should be able to see it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Got my point, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And the same thing, if you go to S11 and if you have a look at it also, you see the same set of data and everything will be the same.
Right. It's just that it will open another window
Right.
and
There
then
is no
you
need
can
for
just
you to go
toggle.
back to HANA SAP server to check. You can just do everything here on
Yeah,
rather
you
than
can
going.
toggle between the windows that
Yes.
way.
Yes. Right. Good. So now we'll try to uh, talk about few things, right? So we have created two attribute views. We have created two attribute views. One is for product and one is for business partners, right? Now let's create a analytical view. So what is the use of analytical view, right? So analytical views are built for analytical purposes. So generally they are used in cases or they are created when we want to develop a star schema. So when do we develop or create a star schema? If we want to join this master data with different sets of transactions data to evaluate the analytic outcomes. So simply to say, if I want to get a total sales for product or per customer or average days of open invoice. So if I want to get all these contents or analytics, right? So we generally create an analytical view. So these views are processed by the OLAP engine. So let me do it. Okay, you see here, right? So we saw the runtime and all, right? So similarly, if we try to create a analytical view, this is very open. So key, you can also select it by clicking on the semantics and selecting the field here. Okay, that's the one way where we select that mapping and change, select the key. And this is the second way how we can do it also. Clear? So let's say if my company has so many sales orders and I want to find out what are all the sales order line items and sales per customer per product, right? So which products are sold mostly in my company and who is my top priority customer and which country is giving me high sales for my products and what is my top sales making currency. So if I want to find all these things, right? So generally to answer those questions, whatever we are trying to address, we generally create a analytical views, right? So now we'll be now using the attributes views, whatever we have created in HANA, right? So we will be creating this particular attribute views and then we'll be using those in the analytical views. Clear? How can we create an analytical view? Just select your package, right click and say analytic package. All right. So the first thing is I want to create an analytical view for my sales data. I'll say n_sales_data. Okay. I'll say finish. So this is what screen you will see. If you remember, in attribute view, we just saw semantics and data foundation, but here we got something new called star join. Okay. Now we'll add two tables here, like what we did for attribute view. So I'll add the sales order table, and I'll also add the sales order items table. Okay, I have added two tables here. The same thing, I'll map the client to client and node key to parent key, right? And here, because as you know, one sales order can have multiple line items, right? Multiple line items. So what I'll do here is I'll just click on this. I'll change my join to inner join, and we'll have something called a cardinality, right? So cardinality is like based on your request. So if I want to get a data from another table based on my parent record, so we use the cardinality, right? So if you see for one sales order, we'll have multiple line items. That's why we are choosing here 1 to n, because one sales order will have multiple sales items. In some cases where we'll have only 1-to-1 mapping, in that case we just go for 1-to-1. It all depends on your use case. N-to-1 is like for many entries in your first table, you'll have only one record in the second table. We generally go for N-to-1, right? N-to-M is also similar. If we have n number of records with n number of items, we go for N-to-M. So in this case, we are going for 1-to-N because for one sales order, we'll have multiple line items. And say validate join. Everything is good. Say okay. Right? Now we'll add the columns. I'll add the node key. We'll add a few more fields here. Okay, we'll add gross amount, currency code, buyer ID, status, right? We'll add all this inside here. We'll add the product grid because that's no product. We have product ID somewhere. Currency code. Yeah, we'll add the product grid. Yeah, I think it should be good. So we have added few columns, right? So like in attribute view, we marked key field as mandatory, right? In analytic view, it is mandatory to mark a measure. What is the measure? It's like a numeric field, right? Let's just keep in mind, we'll be selecting it soon, but just keep in mind. Like how we selected a key in attribute views, we should select or create a measures in analytics view. So now I'm clicking on the star join, right? If you see here, these are all the fields which we just selected, right? Now what I'll do is click on this plus icon after selecting the star join, and here I will add my attribute views. What is my attribute view? AT underscore product, which is this one, and I'll also add AT underscore business partners, this one here. Now if you see, I should have one more. So we have two master tables and we have one transaction table which we built. Okay, good. So now what I will do is we'll try to do the mapping, right? So we'll try to map these fields. Where is this product is here? We'll try to map the buyer GUID to the company name. Okay, buyer GUID to the company name, and the product GUID to the node key. Okay, product GUI to the node key. Put it in the middle, we can just swap it like this. Clear? Any questions? If you see here, we have something called node keys all around everywhere. So definitely when we do this, okay, let me try to save and activate. I am not telling you anything. So we just did a mapping. If you see here, measure cannot be identified. It is asking me to select a measure. Okay. Let's select one
I
measure.
have a question.
Just select here, and here you can select the measure whatever you want. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll select the gross amount because it's a numeric value. Okay. Gross amount, it's a numeric value. We'll select this one as a multiple tables got open. Let me try to close all these things. Okay, gross amount. Okay, so if you see here, you can select this gross amount type as measures. I'm selecting this gross amount, which is a numeric field as a measure to this particular view. Now I will save. See, okay. And now if I activate it, it got activated successfully. And if I click on data preview, and if I go to raw data, okay, I did not get the results. Okay, let me go and check what happened wrong here. Okay, it's because of this. Yeah, it may be because of this node names. If you see node name, node underscore key is common in all these tables, right? Maybe it's where it got confused. So what we need to do is we have a node key which is giving a conflictor name. Okay, we'll change it here. So what we'll do is let me delete the star model ones. Okay, just delete. Delete, we have a star model. Let me go back here. And now I'll just do the changes here. And node key, I'll change it to some. Let me go back to this attribute. I'll change this node key. This is a product table, yeah, product underscore key. And I'll save and activate because we have all the node key names same. It is not able to get exact data. So similarly, I'll change for this one as well. I'll say BPQ and activate. Okay, I got the everything. Now I'll go to the analytics view. Right here, now what I'll do is, so now I'll try to add those attribute views here, AP underscore that and AT underscore business partners. Bring it here. Bring the table here. Now we'll do the mapping like what we did. Okay. Buyer GUID to company name. Buyer GUID to company name.
So there is still node key in the three of the things.
Oh, it not got updated. Okay. Okay. Let me. Okay. I think I need to restart this one. Let me restart this studio.
So in these, like all the changes are assigned to a transport. How does this work?
You'll see. You are still at the first step, right? You'll see.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, we have something inside this attribute view. Let me check.
Yeah, I see the updated thing now.
Okay, now everything is good. Okay, now we'll do the mapping what we are doing, right? So what I have did is I have mapped the product ID. Sorry, this is what remote. I'm not sure about it. Okay, we got the fields now, right? So now we'll do the mapping what we are doing here, right? So I'll add this buyer GUID to the company name, and I'll add the product GUID to the node key here. Where is the product? Okay, let me now save. Activate. If I see the data preview. Okay, seems like the fields and the data is wrong. What is the field? SOSI. Sendability underscore product. I think I need to go back to the tables to see what's going wrong. Let me open. Product to SO, right? Sales orders to product.
Is this 7.0 screen?
This is an HANA system, ECC login.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I have a node key. Okay, I need to check product table as well. We have a product ID and a node key here. Let me execute this. We have a node grid and a buyer grid here. Yeah, I think the relationship is, I need to check the relationship between these two tables, right? Let me, okay, after I deleted, okay, give me one thing. Inner join is there. We don't have other join, right? What is the product ID? Okay, let me check in this table if we have okay, we have a product grid right here. Okay. So the product grid in the sales order items, I am selecting with the product key of the. Okay, how come I did not get this product? Oh, okay, I got the product grid here. Ah, okay. I think this is where the problem. Okay. I'm selecting it the wrong grid. Okay. You have multiple products for the same ID. Let me now try to execute and see that. Okay, guys, let me park it aside. Let me spend some time and try to check all these columns and all. I'll just repeat the same, or I'll tell you what mistake I would have done, because whenever we are working on these tables and models, right? So columns, you need to be sure that what are the key columns you want to use and which columns are equal. Because if you see, I need to map this product grid to the product key here, right? So that's how I need to do the mapping. It seems something is missing here, or I did some mistake. Yeah, I think it takes some time. I need to study each and every table and column and see what would have went wrong. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I just park it aside, but I'll tell you tomorrow what is the mistake I have done and how I have corrected it. Because until and unless we get the data right, we will not be able to do some analysis in the analytical view. Okay, I'm just
Okay.
parking this aside. we'll talk about it tomorrow once I find out and fix the errors, right? Good. So this is all about this analytical views, right? So if we simply do this kind of building the views and do some analytics on top of it, right? So we also, if you see here, okay, let me go here. So if you see here, we are trying to display the gross amount, right? We try to display the gross amount. But if you see the joints, whatever we have done, we are not talking about how we can handle the currencies, different currencies, what we get in terms of gross amount, right? Generally, it's not a good idea to do the total gross amount, which we get from different countries in different currencies, right? We should not do that, because whatever the report you are showing, it is obviously wrong, because you cannot just add different currencies what you get, because each currency will have different conversion rates, right? We cannot do that. So we must add the common currencies to get the right amount, right? How we can achieve that particular part in HANA, right? We have a concept called calculated columns, right? We have a concept called calculated columns, which takes care of those kind of activities in HANA, right? Now what I'll do is we'll create something called a calculated column now for the gross amount. So how can I create a calculated column? Just select this folder, right click and say new calculated column. So once you do that, you'll get this particular screen or window. Just give some name to your calculated column, say gross underscore converted, because it's an amount. I want to this in decimal. You can give anything. I'm just giving the standard lengths of a decimal fields, 15.2, and the column type should be a measure. Okay, the column type should be a measure, because this is a numeric field what we are talking about. Now we'll have something called an expression editor here, right? What you need to do is, if you scroll down and if you open this particular column list, you can see everything, right? So here what you need to do is you need to add that particular column for which you want to create a calculated column on top of it, right? So just drag this gross amount column and put it here. If it shows green, that means the syntax is valid. There is no issues for you to happen. Okay, I just added and created a column, but I want to apply the conversion on this particular measure, because without applying conversion, there is no use of this column for me, because I am simply again showing the same gross amount value what I'm getting in this new column as well, right? So my intention is now to apply the currency conversion on top of this one, right? How can I do that? So you'll have something called a semantics tab just beside the expression tab. Just click on the semantics tab, right? And select the drop down, and you'll have something called amount with currency code. Because we are dealing with amounts with currency codes, we'll select that particular semantic type. You'll get this particular screen. Okay. We have selected amount with currency code, and then you can see this particular screen, right? Select these two, because we want the conversion to happen, and we also want the decimal shift to happen. Okay, these are the two things by default we generally select when we are trying to do a currency conversion. So what is the currency I want to convert, right? To which currency I want to convert? So select the schema for currency conversion. It will be it will be the HANA DB schema, which is SAP S4H schema, right? Clear? And the next thing is, what is the client for the conversion table? So it will be the session client by default. There is no need for you to again enter. Okay. And what is your source currency, right? So let's say I'm trying to display all my sales orders amounts, gross amount in EUR. Now my target currencies, I want to, sorry. Source currency is the one which we are trying to print it, right? Which is the we have a column called currency code, right? Just select the currency code, which is our source currency, because this is the column which I am trying to display the amounts. Now, what currency you want to convert all these into a common currency? To which common currency you want to convert all these existing gross amounts? So let's say my target currency is UR. I want to convert into euros, right? And we have something called exchange type, right? We use M, which is the standard translation at an average rate. This is standard ones which we can use. This is the exchange rate what we use. Okay, and what is the conversion date you want to use? Let's say I want to use as of today. Okay, as of today, I want to do the conversion rate based on it. Clear? Good. And you'll have one more important thing at the bottom, which is called upon conversion failure. So here you'll have fail, set to null, and ignore. So in production systems, the field value will be fail, because if something goes wrong in the conversion, we don't want to update it and say everything is good, right? So in production, it should be fail if you are using it in a production system. But as we are in the development system or training, I'll just say ignore for now, because even if something goes wrong, there is nothing wrong going for me, right? I'll say okay. Right now, if I just save and activate, and if I try to see the raw data, now you'll see a new column called gross underscore converted. So this converted gross column will have all the amounts of gross amounts which are converted in the EUR, which is your common currency which you have just selected. Clear?
And can you show me the very first step for the gross converted, like the output? How did that come there?
So column, okay. Just created a calculated column.
Oh, okay. New
Once you
calculated
create a
column.
calculated from here, that will be displayed in the output, because we are creating everything in the output.
Okay. And the attribute views, columns, calculated columns, restricted columns is part of analytic view, right?
That's right. Yes, because what we are trying to do is we are building an analytical view inside which we are consuming two attribute views. And with the combination of all these, we are trying to create an analytic view out of it.
Okay.
Do some analysis on the questions what we have raised, like if we want to do the currency, what is the maximum gross amount, who is your top customer. To analyze all those things, we are trying to build an analytical view and see how we can analyze the data from there.
Okay,
I want to stop it here because I need to have the data, because before going to the next steps, I need to show you how the data looks like, because we did, if you see this particular gross column, right? So whatever we did, we just hard coded it. But now if we want to change it to a more of a dynamic way, right? I want to first show you how it used to be and then want to do a change. So by tomorrow, I'll try to fix this issue and then we'll continue from there. If you have any questions, please do raise it up.
My question is, will we get access to the same system like what you are doing, and will we get to do the same thing what you are doing?
Yes. I think they'll give you the same system. Maybe the user ID and all may be different, but yeah, system should be the same. But for reference, yeah, if you get the same system, you can come here and you can see how we have done it in the session.
Okay.
Okay, sure. I'll do that then.
Thank you for attending the session. I hope you all enjoyed it. Don't forget to visit our Vimeo page and follow for more upcoming videos.